Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show.
Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon.
I am Marcus Mack, and this is the EAC Show coming to you from sunny South Florida with episode 91. Emilio, how about them Nuggets?
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, every dog has his day, and Marcus Mack has had two of his days, literally. Like, even a broken clock is right, twice a day, Marcus Mack. I cannot believe it. For those guys, for you followers that don't, follow us on YouTube or social media, please click like, subscribe. We really do appreciate it. But Marcus texted me yesterday, and we put up a little friendly wager between him, myself, and I. And Marcus just had this itchy feeling. And he was like, yo, the Nuggets are going to win by 5 or better. And I said, Marcus, you are drunk. You are high. Something's wrong with you. I have no idea what makes you think that the Nuggets are not going to win by 5. Not only did they win by more than 5, they were beating the dog snot out of the Lakers.
The whole game. The whole game, the Nuggets had the lead.
So hats off to you, Marcus Mack. I don't know what you was drinking, sipping on. I have no idea. Oh, as he puts money on top of his.
This is Emilio's money.
So
Emilio's, I bet $100. Thank you, Emilio. We appreciate it.
So I don't know what it was. I have no idea. I was just shocked. For Marcus to sit there and say that the Nuggets were going to win by more than 5 points, I just thought was just asinine. And shout out to him. They ended up winning by more than 5 points.
Because, listen, LeBron played a phenomenal game. Shout outs to Rondo. Rondo, he was on a million. We're going to take a second. We're going to talk about the Lakers. Rondo was on a million. When you talk about defense, when we talk about – because, first of all, AD and LeBron was tired. By mid-fourth quarter, I'm surprised they ain't sit them down, but they couldn't. LeBron kept fighting. He kept fighting. When I'm talking about, it was one of those situations where you just wish, LeBron is going to miss. No, he's not. You know what I mean? And then I think there was a point in the game where there was 3 back-to-back turnovers. They was leading by the Nuggets was leading by maybe 20. Yeah. 3 back-to-back turnovers. Before you know it, they only had maybe a 6-point lead. And then here come Murray. 3-point. 3 point.
Sloppy top, man. That's sloppy. That sloppy top, man. That sloppy top got him on another level right now, man. Honestly. Listen. I always like the Nuggets plus the points, but for some reason yesterday I just didn't see it happening, and just I don't know. I was just wrong. I don't know what to say. Honestly,
I don't want to make a call. Remember, I
think
told
it was going to happen.
I didn't want to make a call on game 2, but I felt like I was like, okay, it's gonna be a reasonable series. I feel like this series can, if not game 7, at least game 6. I feel like this series can go. Same thing now. We could get into the Boston Celtics and Miami series, which their game is tonight. If I'm not mistaken, I think Miami Heat was up by 6 at the halftime.
Yeah, but Miami's up by 3 with Tatum going to the line right now, so it's probably going to be a 2-point game with a minute and some change left. Marcus, I've gotten so many texts, and mind you, I was dealing with a bunch of nonsense today, but I've got so many text messages today about the post that we posted with Jokic, Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. dancing to the cut it. Yeah, yo, people are just straight clowning that without question. And the other post that we posted as well, where it's about how, the United States women's track team running around, and it's literally, this is how you run when your mom's about to whip that ass. So we appreciate the engagement and all of DMs and the messages that we get sent. We really, really do. We're going to keep giving you out some exclusive content. Marcus, who do you think ends up winning this game tonight? Is it going to be Boston or is it going to be Miami?
Miami. I like Miami.
I think Boston ties the series up 2-2 to make it an even series, Marcus Mack. Boston knows if they go down 3-1, most likely to the Heat, this series is probably over, honestly.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean,
you know what it is, though, Marcus? You know what it is about the Heat? The Heat don't have – Jimmy Butler's probably the biggest superstar they have. But like I said in the past episode, and you and I discussed this, there are a bunch of construction workers. They bring their lunch pails to work. They all get it in.
But you feel like there's not enough, like how you have on the Lakers, you got AD, you got LeBron, you have complete players. You understand what I'm saying? Even the thing with the Nuggets is that there's not any. I don't feel like there's complete players other than maybe Murray. But I can't even say that. I think defensively and offensively, he's a great player. But on Miami, what you're saying is you don't feel like there's a lot of complete players?
No, it's not that. Miami's a team. They're a great team, but they don't have the superstar to sit there and be like, I'm taking the last shot multiple times. Whereas some of the other teams you do, like with Denver, you have Jokic and you have, Murray. With the Lakers, you have AD and LeBron. With the Boston Celtics, you have Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, or Tatum, or even Marcus Smart. Right. With the Heat, like I said, they're more of a together team. The Heat kind of remind me of that college team that literally just goes all out and will beat you in the NCAA tournament no matter what. I told you, they're a bunch of kids that you just, like if you go to the park and you pick the superstars, you pick 5 players and I pick 5 players and I pick the superstars and you got the leftovers with one star player. That one star player who's Jimmy Butler ends up beating your ass with the leftovers. It's like, yo, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. I mean, I love the way Boston is playing right now. Like I told you before, I wasn't really watching Boston for a while. I don't think I really watched Boston for some years. But I love the way they play. I love the way they play as a team as far as playing team ball. I love the way they play. But I really feel like Miami gonna take this.
What kind of response have you been getting What kind of response have you been getting to the Max Kellerman got bars message? Yo, Max went in. Literally, I got mad people Max went hard on that.
Listen, can I say something? And I think I speak for the entire black delegation when I say this.
I know what you're going to say.
Us at the black delegation, we have agreed. We all have come together, and we have agreed we'd like to trade Stephen A. Smith for Max Kellerman. And I don't think there would be any debate or any rebuttal about this. We definitely want to treat Stephen A. Smith for Max Kellerman. But proceed.
Oh my God! Listen, T.O. said it best. Max, Max is more blacker than you. Sometimes it feels that way. Cause look, not for nothing. I'm not taking away from Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith went to a historically black college. Obviously, he's a black man. He's doing it big. He's one of the GOATs when it comes to this industry. But in all actuality, Stephen A. Smith is so far from relatable to anybody in his community anymore because how T.O. put it best, he's in the streets. Like, T.O. is in the streets. T.O. knows what's going on when it comes to certain things about Colin Kaepernick and how people in the streets feel. Whereas to Stephen A. Smith is more now disconnected from that. And somebody like Max is more relatable than Stephen A. Smith is. So in all actuality, when you think about it, you rather knock on your homie's door and say, yo, can Max come out and play and leave Stephen A. Smith in his crib? Because that's just the way it works.
Which is crazy. You want to know why? It's wild because you would think that Stephen A. Smith would be more relatable because he comes from where we come from, but he's so far removed and doesn't represent. And he doesn't represent in that way. It's not like Shannon Sharp, where it's one of those things where he's very professional and you can tell in his core who he is. You know what I'm saying? Down-to-earth guy, professional. You know what I'm saying? He's had years in the league. He's going somewhere and he's come from somewhere. Stephen A. Smith, I'm not saying that he's a sellout or nothing like that. I don't know enough about him to say that. But what I will say is that, not for nothing, like how we say in the town, I'm not really jacking something like that. Like, I can't jack. Like, if you don't know what that means, I'm not really feeling Stephen A. Smith. But not for nothing, bring Max in the car. Max can hang out with us. You know what I'm saying? I like Max. Max is cool. He can hang out.
You see, the issue is just like, in all actuality, and I never understood this because I don't see race, color, anything like that. So, Marcus, I consider you my brother. I consider Cameron my brother. I consider everything. You know, we're all brothers in this world. Stephen A. Smith would literally have that effect to where he sees somebody like Deion Sanders, like who he had on his show, and he's asking him questions, and he'll call him my brother. And it's just like, okay, but what? No one else is? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. we're all in this together. Like we're all together. We're not separated. Stop trying to separate what one person is going through or is relatable to what the next person is going through or is relatable. You understand? I just don't feel I don't feel that at all. It doesn't really get to me.
And the crazy thing is what he said, I believe it might not be verbatim, but I believe what he said was when he talks to Max Kellerman and he says certain things, he just feels like he knows nothing about what he's talking about. And I'm like, look, man, I completely disagree. I mean, yeah, matter of fact, we're gonna check this out real quick. Just check it out. We're gonna just pull just a small clip.
Stephen, a couple more questions before you get out of here. You mentioned Max Kellerman and how you smoke him every day. Sometimes I get the feeling that you really don't like Max Kellerman. Like you're really disgusted by some of the things that come out of his mouth. Is that true?
Well, let me say this. I do. It's false. I actually do like him a lot. He is a really, really good guy. But you are right when you say sometimes I do get very, very disgusted with this kind of stuff that comes out of his mouth, and I'm not apologizing for that. That's my man. He's my partner on First Take. He does a hell of a job. He's incredibly intelligent. All of that stuff is true. And we all know this. We can disagree with somebody, and still don't hate them. We just disagree with them. But there are times that he speaks and, it's like he's trying, and I've told him this before, you trying to act like you a brother. I don't give a damn who you are. You ain't that. Mm-hmm. You understand? You don't have these experiences. You don't really know. And so there have been times where I have felt the need to check him on that matter. But that's all. It's like his heart is in the right place. But he's the kind of person that he reads a lot. He's highly intelligent, and he thinks that reading and that knowledge gives him a level of expertise that myself, you, or DJ Envy or anybody else might have. And I'm like, nah, that's not true. There's certain things about our experience you can't get in the book. And I'm not saying he says that literally or feels that way literally, but with some of the comments, he comes across that way. And if I get annoyed, I will check him. But then I will go and I will talk to him after if necessary. And I always let him know, we teammates, I got you. But again, just like you would disagree with me if I said something, about that's relevant to the Jewish community. If I think you said something out of pocket that's pertaining to the Black community, I'm gonna let you know. And I think a lot of times, Charlamagne, he looks at things from a very altruistic perspective. He looks at things about the way, and he admitted this, he looks at things the way they should be. I look at things the way they are. So I'm mindful of saying stuff and promoting and pushing stuff that I think are going to lead Black people down a dead end path or something even worse. I might know that we're absolutely right, but I'm like, wait a minute. You got to think about the forest from the trees. If Charlamagne is going down, I'm cool with Charlamagne. Well, guess what? I got a lot of respect for this brother. If I see you doing something and I think that that's going to hurt you, even if I know you're right, I'm going to say, yo, bro, marathon, sprint, make a decision. You doing this? That might not be the way you want to go because you might get that off your chest, but it might cost you here. He's the type of person that says, damn all of that. And I'm like, that's easy for you to say because you ain't Black. So you don't know. But I do know. So fall back. And there have been times in our time with one another that I've had to say that to him. But it's always knowing that his heart is in the right place, that he's a really good brother. And I'm happy to be working with him.
Even in that clip, it separates him and Max. Like, I don't want to do anything that separates myself and you or separates myself and Cameron or whatever it may be. I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. Like, we are partners. We do this together. We're a group. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when Cam decided, you know what, I can't do the shows as much, I spoke to Cam and I was like, look, let's still figure out a way we can have you come back on. Let's keep working what we're working because we have something good. You understand?
Yeah. And they said, oh no, Marcus could do the show. Oh yeah, bro. He doesn't really do sports like that. No, he's all right. He's a natural. They'll love him. And now all of a sudden they got me a sports fanatic. Oh man,
it's extremely. It's been a ride and a half. I'm gonna tell you, Joey Benetti and I. Shout out to Joey Benetti, who's getting married. He just took a little vacation up to North Carolina. But Joey and I were literally having a laugh when you sent us a text message about how stressful it was to actually watch the Dolphins play this weekend.
Right.
And shout out to you, Mark. You've come a long way because you ain't know shit about sports.
My cousin is a big Dolphins fan, but he's straight out of Carroll City, Miami Gardens. He, big Miami guy. Everything is Dolphins Nation. But you know what you call that though, man? That's called brotherhood. When it's like, I would never, amongst each other, I will call you out, I'll pull your card, or I'll say, listen, I'll pull your coat, hey, listen, doing so. That's called brotherhood. And then, when you could go in front of a body of people and it's one thing for you to bring up something that we might not agree on and we talk about it and we have some kind of dialogue about it. But it's another thing for you to just throw your brother under the bus. You know what I'm saying? When you can say to yourself, yo, listen, I'm not going to do that. That's blatantly disrespecting my man right in front of people. Like, I'll blatantly disrespect my man to his face, but not in front of people.
Yeah.
That's my partner. That's my co-host. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what the disagreement is, I just feel like, Stephen A. Smith is out of pocket, which is not the first time he's done something out of pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't care what type of time Max Kellerman is on and how you might feel about it. I just think that was the wrong venue for that. But
absolutely. I agree with you totally. Shout out to Max. Max, keep doing you, because in no actuality, people are rocking with you more than they rocking with Stephen A. Stephen A. is dissing himself more and more from his audience, the same way Skip Bayless is dissing himself more and more to his audience. And in all actuality, people are enjoying Max Kellerman and enjoying Shannon Sharp more than they're enjoying the main guys.
How would you feel about having Max Kellerman and Shannon Sharp on the show together?
I said, dude, you didn't listen? I said that 4 episodes ago, dude.
I know.
I said that 4 episodes ago. Everybody would be watching, no actuality. Now, listen, an out-of-pocket moment that I want to get into now, Marcus. You and I spoke about it on the pre-show, and we're going to talk about it here. A lot of people are beating up this doctor over this Tyrod Taylor situation, Marcus. And I just want to listen. I just want to bring people to a little bit of humbleness, and almost in a sense. This doctor has probably done this 1,000,000 times, and this is probably the one time that he has made a mistake. Maybe. I'm not defending. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to bring
the history, right?
I'm just trying to bring the people down a little bit because people are just so outraged. I promise you that doctor did not go into there saying, I'm going to puncture this guy's lung on purpose. That's not what happened. This is 100% pure accidental. And you know what? Tyrod Taylor is just unlucky. He ended up getting his lung punctured trying to take a pain medication for a cracked rib so he could play, and it just didn't work out. But please stop beating up on this doctor so much. This doctor did not mean this man no harm. Now, mind you, from an attorney standpoint, Tyrod Taylor is about to get really, really paid because there's no way on God's green earth that if he sues, the NFL is going to do anything against, like, nope, we'll figure something out. Tyrod, we're going to work something out.
Yeah, because he's definitely not going to sue the doctor. He's going to sue the NFL.
Well, you sue the doctor, you sue the team because the team hires the doctor, and then you sue the NFL for negligence and all types of stuff.
Right.
But in my opinion, I think it doesn't even necessarily get to that point. If they file, they'll just file because they have to, and then they'll end up agreeing out of court in all actuality. Because if you really think about it, this accident has stopped him from starting, which stops him from preventing for his family. So while he does get paid, when you perform to be able to get the next payday.
Right.
So now he's not going to be able to do that because of this accident.
We had a viewer of the show DM me about saying that, do you think that it was something shady going on? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I smell a lawsuit, but I don't think it's nothing shady. Like, what is the inside job? Like, why target him? Why in this way? I just think it was a freak accident. It was something that just happened. Our prayers go out to him. Hopefully this doesn't.
Even the doctor, Marcus, the doctor feels terrible. The doctor's probably beating himself up. The doctor's like, listen, I guarantee the doctor's sitting there saying to his wife, his significant other, his colleagues, his employer, who is the Los Angeles Chargers, like, yo, I've done this 1,000,000 times. How does this happen? Like,
yeah, because you got to remember too, his career is on the line too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I promise you, and this is one of these instances, Marcus, and this is a shout out to Chris Rock. Chris Rock said it best. There's certain jobs that you just can't be all right in. You understand? Like, you can't be an airline pilot and just be an all right airline pilot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, sometimes we land perfectly. No, you need to land perfectly every time. Like,
right.
So this is one of those jobs where if you really think about it, you can't mess up.
Yeah, you'll be known as the doctor that can possibly puncture a lung. It's like a barber. That one Zeke, I don't care how many valid tape-ups you did, your fade, your blend, everything could be on point. Bro, that one bowl cut that you give, that one off, kind of tilted, it's like, oh yeah, that's that guy. Can I get the next guy in the next chair, please? That's a fact.
This part of the show is going to be brought to you by our sponsor, ElCubanoSandwichShop.com. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online orders or pickup orders as well. Make sure you go over there and enjoy a cafe con leche or that natural pre-workout shot of that Cuban coffee to energize your day. Also, go get their steak sandwich, their croquetas, their pastries, everything, you name it, and get a jupina because the jupina is the Marcus Max special. So make sure you go to El Cubano Sandwich Shop in Coral Springs. That's 954-906-5110. Use the promo code EAC to save yourself some money, and that's El Cubano Sandwich Shop in Coral Springs. Marcus Mack, this is episode 91. I'm Emilio A. Colon. That is Marcus Mack. Marcus, it's not believable. It really isn't believable that you got the NCAA and you got a couple games that are being rescheduled because of this whole COVID-19 situation. I think it was 13 players for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish that are in isolation because of positive COVID testing. You have another game between Houston and North Texas that is off. I 100%, and I don't want this to happen, but I 100% feel like the NFL is 100% lying about how many players are actually testing negative and positive. Because if you mean to tell me that these college kids are testing positive, how are NFL teams playing full contact sports and no one is testing positive?
Well, I mean, I think, or we spoke about this before. If we didn't talk about it on the show, I definitely know we talked about it personally. I feel like everything is about just going with the guidelines. They're just gonna do enough to be able to get by. They're gonna report just enough just to get by. You know, they're not gonna say anything out of the way that's gonna give anybody, particularly the government or whoever is setting these guidelines, they're not going to do anything to alert these people. They're going to give them just enough information to where it goes with the protocol. Like, all right, listen, we're supposed to give this much information around these times, like every 2 days or every week, we have to give this. And we're going to do that just enough so that way they don't shut us down.
Right. I just feel like the NFL is doing an amazing job of hiding as much as possible. And I just looked just now, South Florida postponed game versus FAU because of the uncertainty of how many COVID cases they might have. They just played Notre Dame not too long ago. So if you really think about it, look at the domino effect that's happening, you know? You mean to tell me that no one, everybody in the NFL is doing the right thing. Everybody. You can't get these guys to do the right thing ever. You mean to tell me all of a sudden these kids all became saints and they're all doing the right thing all of a sudden?
At some point in the bubble, there was 1 or 2 positive cases, right?
But that's in a bubble. That's a controlled environment.
Hear me out. I'm saying there was 1 or 2 cases where there was a positive testing, right? And that's in a bubble. So in the NFL, they're not in a bubble. So there's nowhere in the world you're going to tell me that there's nobody testing positive.
I think this has more to do with the fact, and this was a really, really big business decision, Marcus, and I know you're big on the whole stocks and all that type of stuff. But I think this had a lot to do with the contract for who was going to do the COVID testing for the NFL, honestly. So I think the NFL made sure that they got a company that they could control and sit there and say, look, every time we get a positive, we want you to really pretty much report it as a false positive to make sure that we're not affecting the bottom line, which is us being able to play.
Right. That's for sure. Because when the upper-ups, when the higher-ups go to talking, you start seeing people moving different and things happening. Because, you know, I think just like what we talk about with Commissioner Manfred in the MLB, there's somebody who's in charge that we don't even see. It's the investors. When they go to talk,
We haven't even talked about your man, Mr. Mafia, Mr. Mafioso, Mr. Dirtbag, Rob Manfred. He literally came out the other day. He came out the other day and said they're going to put in the playoffs, they're going to put a bubble. So the National League will be playing in, I believe it's Texas, and then the American League will be playing in San Diego or vice versa. I'm not 100% sure. But he also said that there are going to be fans at the National League Championship and in the World Series.
When the World Series is next month?
The World Series is going to be held in October, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Manfred is just gangster. He don't care. He's like, we just going to do what we want.
And when you talking about corporate thugging, can we get Jeezy on the phone? We got a new addition to the corporate thugs entertainment. Because
when you just said that, I thought about R. Kelly. We dug and all of that.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Do we have anything else on college football?
I mean, just, college football's been good. I mean, a lot of the people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, but you have some people that are not. I've heard stories about massive parties at the University of Miami, people getting shut down, like. It's just, it's nutty, Marcus Mack. But other than that, I mean, it's been okay for the most part. I know the Big Ten is finally going to come back, but the Big Ten is a league that called it quits early, and then the people were outraged. You got Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, Northwestern. You got all those people up there in the Big Ten, and they were just outraged about it, Marcus Mack. And now they were so outraged that they went to the headquarters of the Big Ten and told these guys that we want football. So the Big Ten is coming back, but the Big Ten is going to play an 8-week season, and they have no room for error, meaning like they have to play all 8 weeks because they don't even have time to make up any games. So if any games are postponed, there's no chance to make those things up whatsoever.
Has there been any rectifying of the situation with some schools not being able to play?
No, because you got to understand, it's more about, and this is just anything in life, it's more about who you know and not what you know. So you could give them all the information in the world, but if you got a governor that sits there and says it's not happening, if you don't got a governor like the great governor, Mr. Ron DeSantis, that's 100% pro sports all day long, opening up Disneyland and all this type of stuff, like
DeSantis is pro money.
Pro money, yeah.
Yeah, yes. Because I ain't even gonna lie to you. That bubbling,
you call it pro money?
So much money to
you
us.
Call it pro money, I call it pro sports.
Right, yeah. We gonna keep it politically correct. Like, you look at these NBA games and you can see the real estate. You see that screen, that big screen where his fans are sitting. It's real estate. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? But before, while we talking about football, man, about college football, this weekend, big for Florida. The Florida Seminoles and Miami Hurricanes will be playing, right? So I'm gonna be checking that out. I gotta check. That's gonna be a big game, especially for all. Listen, Florida,
Miami should beat them by like 14 points at least.
Miami is gonna be in the building.
Florida State sucks right now.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I'll be out there at Deanie's Lounge. Feel what I'm saying? I'll be out there. I'm gonna definitely be out there at Deanie's Lounge. Big shout outs to Sedina. We're going to be out there checking out the game. 8 screens, chicken and beer. We're going to definitely be out there, man. Y'all, anybody?
You know what you're going to do? You're going to go on IG and you're going to host it from there, man.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, we're going to turn up a bit. We're going to turn up a bit, man. But, she just redid the whole spot. New screens. The wings is always fire. We definitely going to be out there. For real. Everybody's coming out to check out that game, man. Everybody's coming out to check out that game.
Well, look, I think we're going to do Effort Friday with Cam. I think he's going to come on. I'm not 100% sure, but we have to do Effort Friday with Cam because we have to make our football picks for this week as well, Marcus Mack. 2 weeks in a row, you're winning right now. This is crazy to me. I can't even believe this, like, all honesty. Like,
all right.
There's going to be a piece of humble pie when you come down back to earth. It's going to happen.
Listen. There is nobody's pockets that you should rather your money be in than mine. Listen, if you feel your money is safe with you, you should feel like it's even safer with me. I'm
Emilio A. Colon. That is Marcus Mack. That's going to conclude episode 91. We appreciate it. Click like, subscribe on all podcast platforms and on YouTube while Marcus flashes my $100 that I lost to him today. And Marcus, I'll check you out episode 92.
Yeah, be easy, man.